Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time. Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time for a little fire and ice. Please do not know.
There's never a good time for fire and ice.
What happens when you mix fire and ice?
Warm water, baby.
It's bubbling, baby. Warm water. Warm water.
That intro went faster than I needed it to, Brandon. I was trying to do a bunch of other stuff while that was going on, but it is January 10th, the first Fire and Ice of the new year, the second Saturday of the new year. Brandon, I'm glad to have you here. We got our guy Daver hanging out with us as well, making sure we look good, sound good, all that good stuff that's going on over here. A little technical difficulty, so we got started a little bit late. That's all on me, guys. That is 100% on me. We are over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Brandon, tell everybody about the specials we've got going on.
First of all, Happy New Year. New Year, St. Putz over here to my left. But we have a lot of great shticks here. We have the Ultimate Sampler, which Tipton and I love to order. We have the Pick 6 for $19.99. You get to pick 6 items, drinks, appetizers, entrees, and you can upgrade and get a cookie skillet, which Daver loves, and so do I. Also, check out this week, Mr. Daver. We have the rewards month of free. So if you are a rewards member, which I'm assuming most of you are, you get, for example, starting from the 5th, you get a free burger with a $15 purchase. Then you get free delivery from the 12th on, the 14th on, 6 free wings, the 19th on, a free sandwich, and the 26th on, a free appetizer. So that's with the $15 purchase. Take advantage of that here at B-Dubs among appetizers, specials, and so on and so forth. It's a great, great time to come to B-Dubs and watch playoff football, UFC, the whole 9 yards.
They are going to have the playoff games on here in just a little bit. They start in
at 2:30.
2:30.
So yeah, 2:30. Yeah,
okay.
Carolina.
2:30. I thought we were going to be privy to a little bit. I thought it was 2:30 Eastern. This shows you what type of day I've had. Yeah,
right.
So that right
standard
there.
time 2:30. His first game, Carolina and the Rams. That should be a very intriguing first game. I'm thinking. I'm excited about that one.
I think it's going to be a really exciting game, because they played an exciting game like earlier this year. We have to remember, Carolina was able to come back from behind, win that game against the LA Rams. It was in arguably the worst possible weather.
Yeah, wasn't it very rainy
it was a
and
super
crappy?
Rainy
Yeah,
so. But I don't have high expectations for the Carolina Panthers. A hell of a season. Congrats on winning your division. The weirdest, arguably worst division in football.
It's terrible.
But you know what? They win their division. They go on their way. The LA Rams, though, I feel, are still the team to beat.
I don't know that I agree with that. I still think right now, if you had talked to me a few weeks ago, I would have surely said, yes, they are the team to beat. They're very good. But I think Seattle's right now my favorite. And yes, I know there's the Darnold thing, but there's something about that team and their defense to me that's going to carry them in the NFC. And the fact that they were able to go to San Francisco and get the first round bye and the number 1 overall seed, that's a really, really, really tough place to play and win. So I'd say right now Seattle's my favorite in the NFC as opposed to the Rams.
You know, it's hard to argue with you on that. Seattle, obviously the number 1 seed. The NFC West, I thought the NFC West was going to take a bit of a step back this year. 3 teams, all with 11-plus wins.
Very impressive.
Like you came into the last week of the season, and all 3 of the teams, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks, had a shot at getting the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah.
It was wild. What a great division that's been. Cooper Bowden over on YouTube saying, "Go Cowboys." I am still saying I'm wearing my Cowboys gear, embarrassing as it may be.
Go Bears.
Yeah, now you're Go Bears. So a lot of my buddies, right? And I wore the shirt a couple of games ago, a couple of weeks ago. My buddy JD, from ESPN 1000 in Chicago. He passed away, tragically of cancer 4 years ago. So because of my buddy, who is a huge Chicago Bears fan, and friend of the show, Dion Hankins, who is on the Chicago Bears.
Spoke with him today. He's very excited, obviously.
Our friends who have supported us along the way as well, the Chicago Clubhouse Network, that whole entire crew over there. I am throwing my support behind the Chicago Bears. And I know because I have thrown my support behind them they are going to get their ass kicked.
Yes, probably more than likely. I mean, I hate to say it. It's not often you're going to get your ass kicked by a team that's not just limping in, but not even crawling in. And the Packers, who have lost 4 straight, their last win came against the Bears at Lambeau Field. They are not playing well. But the thing is about the Bears is that they have lost their last couple of games coming in. And granted, they were both very competitive losses at San Francisco and at home to Detroit. But with that being said, you never want to go into a playoff matchup at all, even though you're hosting it against not only one of your biggest rivals, who seems to kind of have your number. I mean, they were really lucky to beat them in overtime a few weeks ago, which ended up resulting in the division championship, right? But I think the long story short of it is, yeah, I mean, I want the Bears to win, but I'm not going to lie, I'm a little scared.
I mean, I agree with that as well. And, the Packers, their thing has been injuries, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that I think is going to help out the Chicago Bears in this is, one, you're home, right? You are the higher seed, so you're at home. But 2, that pass rush that was so dominant early on for the Green Bay Packers is not there since the Micah Parsons injury, since he went down with that ruptured ACL.
Right.
Now it's all about what Chicago can do. And Chicago, we've seen the Achilles heel for Green Bay is to get the ball run right at them. Chicago is a run-first team. Caleb Williams is the most dynamic whenever he's running the football. Like not when he's stuck in the pocket, but whenever he's running the football. So for me, I've got faith in the Chicago Bears in pulling this off. Once again, like I said, I have my own reasons for why. Jeff Dickerson, my dude, if you're in Chicago, you're in the Chicago area, check out some of the stuff that some of the charities that is associated with the name of Jeff Dickerson. But the Chicago Bears, to me, other than, if there's a team that's not in the NFC West that can represent in the Super Bowl, I feel like it's the Chicago Bears.
Boy, I tell you, you have a lot of confidence in them. Not as much confidence as I have in them. And yeah, they're good, but I just don't see them being at that step yet. Now here's the thing: as a Bears fan, for me, a great win is winning a game and beating the Packers, and you lose whatever in the second round. But I would love to see them make that deep run. I just don't know that they're quite there yet, because of the fact that, they won some close games. Yeah, they won some really close games, but can they beat that dominant team? I don't know that they could, though,
But this is
Green Bay's not even that good,
If you look at the NFC, I feel like this is the most wide open any of the playoffs have been in the NFL in quite some time.
No doubt about
that. Right? Like Philadelphia, sorry, Daver, Philadelphia is not great.
Yeah.
Right? Like
how often can you do push tush and get away with it?
Yeah, and
not as often as you'd like, though, right?
and so many other teams in the NFL are still using tush push, so that negates the very advantage that play has.
Well, and it's not just that. You saw this year, Philadelphia had the 26th ranked offense in the NFL this year.
Yeah,
like that's not going to help you out.
Absolutely dismal.
Right? And I get it. In the playoffs, the field gets shorter. Your defense wins championships. All that nonsense, right? But you got to be able to put up points.
Yes.
And whenever you have teams like Chicago who can put up points, teams like Seattle who can put up points, you have to be able to put up with that, right? But like, I look at the Rams, and I see the flaws that the Rams have. I look at the 49ers, and the injuries have to catch up at some point in time. You look at Seattle, the big question mark there, even though you can give them all the flowers in the world, Sam Darnold being the 5th quarterback in the history of the NFL to have back-to-back 13-win seasons, and he won 14 games in both of them, right? Like he's – and I get it, wins are not a quarterback stat. No. Don't come at me, nerds.
No.
But there's something about, Sam Darnold over the last 2 years, he has proven to be a serviceable quarterback. But he still has that question mark on him because we haven't seen the success in the playoffs, right? There is not a team in the NFC that I can sit here and say definitively looks like they're going to be the representative in the Super Bowl. And then whenever I, position that and look at the AFC, the one team that I feel has pressure on them to perform is Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Patrick Mahomes this year. You don't have Lamar Jackson. You don't have Joe Burrow. All those big-name quarterbacks on those great teams are not there. And if the Buffalo Bills don't make it to the Super Bowl this year with a Denver Broncos team that I don't think people trust,
no,
a New England Patriots team that I don't think people trust,
absolutely not,
a Jacksonville Jaguars team that I love, you already know it. If you watch this show, automatically your second favorite team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. End of discussion. The Houston Texans, I don't think you can trust. Amazing defense, but they don't have the offense.
Right.
Buffalo should get to the Super Bowl. And if they don't, there has to be major changes there.
Yeah, a huge disappointment. I mean, coaching changes. I know they're talking that Harbaugh would be a good candidate for Buffalo. I do not disagree with that if they're not able to make a deep run. However, I would love to see, because I'm really obviously a big fan of Josh Allen, but Jacksonville to me looks like they could be that team. They really could. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, an MVP season, a great running game, a great coach. Cohen's done a wonderful job. They really have. They've won they won 13 games, and they're just red hot. They're the absolute position that you want to be when you're coming into the postseason. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say it right now. I think Jacksonville's got a real great shot of representing the AFC.
It's amazing how different things have changed, because at the beginning of the season, when I told everybody that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win that division, I got laughed at.
Of course you did.
And
rightfully
deservingly so,
Rightfully
right?
so.
Like, yeah. You idiot. What do you know about
You're
sports?
a moron. We know you're a moron, but we were also thinking, because that's our second favorite team.
Yes.
But we were just being, facetious, that we really thought they were going to do something, right? I mean, but
I did.
Well, you're a schmuck. But I mean, luckily you're a smart one here, because you actually called something right for a change.
Still, I called a lot of things right this year. I said the Bears were going to make the playoffs. A lot of people laughed at me with that one too. I also said that the Cowboys would finish in second place.
You said Washington would be garbage. You were right about that.
I'm telling you, man.
You made a few right calls.
Tipsterdamus. I said that Denver was going to win the division.
And that was who
I also said Kansas City would be third in that division, and that the Chargers would be second. So I'm sitting pretty right now. But again, you look at all the teams that are in the playoffs this year. None of them stand out to you. No. None of them do.
None at
because you look at Buffalo and you say, okay, Josh Allen, they've got a good run game. The wide receivers are going to be a question. The defense is a huge question with them, because the way they've lost games is not being able to stop runs. This is the time where teams establish the run and dominate everybody, right?
Absolutely.
And you look at that landscape, and it's just, I think that's what makes it fun and I agree with you. I think Jacksonville can make a deep run into the playoffs. It's just, I'm not used to this. And I look at every single team and I say, this team could make a deep run. There's like no team is an easy out. No team is, well, maybe Carolina, but no team is like a guaranteed win. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's and that's the thing, is that parity is at its absolute best this year, because we have seen rare in the past where you can't say that this team is just that great. I mean, obviously it's been Kansas City that's been the juggernaut, that's been the team with the bullseye on their backs the last few years, and of course Philadelphia has been exceptional. They really have, winning 2 Super Bowls in the last 8 or 9 years, whatever it is. But long story short, this is to me that year where, gosh, we could just get a great surprise, a wonderful surprise where, sometimes you say, well, we don't want to see these teams in the Super Bowl. I mean, America doesn't want to see these obscure, non-significant market teams represent for the Lombardi Trophy. But this year, it's like, damn, whoever makes it, I mean, hey, we haven't seen this for so long, if ever, really. So I'm super excited in that respect. But then it could be the biggest surprise that we've seen in a long time.
Again, looking at the whole landscape of things, this is the one sport that I feel is impervious to whoever's in the Super Bowl. It does not matter, right? Like people are going to watch the Super Bowl because it's become
Super Bowl, one
of the biggest sporting events in the world.
Sure.
Maybe the World Cup is bigger, but whenever you can say that the biggest game in sports is 1 or 2, you've kind of got something working for you, right? However, we have seen in the past, if you have the smaller market teams with like the smaller names on it, look at last year's NBA Finals, an amazing NBA Finals. If you love basketball the way that I do, an amazing NBA Finals. You already forgot the teams. I can tell by the look in your face. Oklahoma City and Indiana.
I know.
But nobody cared about that NBA Finals.
Well, and it went 7 games. And Indiana almost pulled it off.
So now what I want, just for the sheer chaos of it all, because you know how I am. I think I'm going to pull back my comment about the Carolina Panthers. I want a Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers Super Bowl.
That'd be just beautiful,
because that will test everybody's football care.
Yes,
like that will test the armor of the NFL. Are you really the giant you think you are, because nobody would tune into that game
Nobody.
if it was on a random Monday
Well,
night.
no, not at all. That's for sure. No one would give two craps.
That's
but
a Thursday night football ass game,
that's a
if there
Thursday
ever
night.
was one.
That is ever a Thursday night
which
football game.
which means, like the Dallas Cowboys, Netflix would probably cover it instead of Fox or NBC.
Netflix was trying to get their money with the Cowboys. I don't blame them.
Yeah, no doubt, no
I
doubt.
hate
No,
that
but I mean, it's again, this is. We certainly know there's a great. I don't think that Carolina's chances aren't as bad or as you happen to think, because they did beat this team, and you have that confidence knowing that you did take care of business about a month ago, and you can dethrone them. So I mean,
And it is at home again.
It's at home. It's at home. I mean, I don't know how the weather is. I don't think it's terrible in Carolina today, but in Charlotte. But ultimately, knowing that you've already defeated them, at least gives you that blueprint to know that you can take care of business against the mighty LA Rams, who are damn tough, though. They really are tough.
They're Ram tough.
They're Ram.
You see what I did?
Ram tough.
Look at that. That was stupid. You guys deserve better than that. Okay, so again, let's look at some of the playoff matchups here. Let me bring up my handy dandy schedule while I'm trying to check all this stuff out. I'm gonna try and filibuster and just make sense out of everything that's going on right now, because there's the playoff picture that I was looking for. Thank you, NFL.com. Oh God, it doesn't give me the games; it just gives me the standings.
Oh.
There we go. Playoff bracket. Here we are. Okay, so the games that we have today are the Carolina Panthers and the LA Rams. We spoke about this a little bit earlier. I think LA is going to handle business. They're getting Devontae Adams back off of injury. Puka Nacua is a monster. I don't think it's supposed to rain in Carolina this time.
I think so.
Maybe it will.
Check and see.
Living in North Carolina for 3.5 years like I did, I know that winter in North Carolina is just like winter in El Paso. It ain't that bad.
74 degrees.
You see what I mean? Like,
That's nice.
but
It does say
there's
there
not
is
really-
rain in the forecast, though.
Uh-oh.
But starting at 5. But the game starts at, 4:30 their time. So it's supposed to be raining.
Wow.
40%. So rain is in the forecast today.
Wow. So proving me wrong, there is going to be some rain in
But
this.
it's warm. It's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be like, I would take 74 and rainy right now as opposed to what we have.
Showers,
of 40
gusty winds in Charlotte.
48 and sunny right now. in El
That
Paso.
favors the running game. And I mean, again,
Charlotte. Does, Carolina has a good running
Carolina
game.
has a good running game. They have that double-headed monster, Hubbard and Dowdle. So
Former Dallas Cowboy Rico Dowdle. The amount of former Dallas Cowboys that are in the playoffs right now is just pissing me off. It is wild.
Yeah.
I hate that I love that team. As I saw one of the comments here from Jeremy, says, I'm a big Cowboys fan. Congrats to be willing to say it at this point in time is phenomenal. But I'm just not one of those people. And then what I think is going to be one of the more interesting games, the Green Bay Packers, the 7 seed, against the 2 seed Chicago Bears. The Bears.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, obviously, whenever you have, this is the 3rd time in the history of the league they've actually played each other in the postseason. And I know that
Which is wild.
Wild. Yeah, I know. And I know that Green Bay, I don't know if they won both games. I know the last
They split
time
the first 2.
They did. Okay.
They did.
Because one of them was to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If memory serves. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be really cold in Chicago. I know that they're getting some snow right now, so the field, but they're used to the Bear weather. Look, I want to see the Bears win. I want to see the Bears take care of business. I want to see them solidify this season. I think Williams should have a good game, but their offense cannot be inept. If their offense is inept the way they were against Detroit last week, where they didn't score until like the latter end of the 4th quarter to tie the game, and then they lost late, then they're not going to win. They have no chance. But if they can do offensively what they've done at times this year, then they have a great shot of winning this game. But it starts with Williams, though.
Yeah, I mean, everything there starts with Caleb Williams, right? Like, it's going to be, he is the heartbeat of that team. He is the way that the team is going to go. I like Monungai. And again, that's going to be my thing. Is I think if Chicago comes out, establishes the run, they can get an upper hand over Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay is going to get Jordan Love back. Green Bay is going to be able to, do their thing. but Chicago needs to make this a Chicago game.
Mhm.
We're running the ball. We're moving Caleb Williams out of the pocket. We're doing all of those things. Tommy Canazza saying both teams are used to playing in that weather, which is true.
Yeah,
Green Bay and
absolutely.
Chicago. I mean, there's like a 20-minute difference.
It's nothing new. I mean, compared to crappy weather, but it's not even. I don't even. I was supposed to be snowing during the game, but I think it's the front is coming through right now. So I don't know that it's flurries. They said tonight and all that. So it's not.
Ugh.
It's not going to be horrible. And admittedly, when I was there, it was like in the teens, and that's horrid. Just any of you who haven't been to Chicago in December and January. But now I think it's supposed to be in the 30s, the low 30s. I have to check the weather forecast, but it's
every time I hear people talk about the cold, I just remember Alaska, and thank God that I'm in El Paso right now. Like it's 48 degrees and chilly today.
Yeah,
but I believe whenever I looked at Alaska the last time, it was like -20.
Yeah,
so I am happy where I am.
I mean, it's 45 right now. This is a warm summer's day in Chicago.
Oh God.
Honestly, I'm not kidding, but no, I mean, I will say that, when you're in that really cold, whenever it gets 20 or below in Chicago, it's horrible. It's like, feels like it's zero, and it's really, really cold.
Well, and it's not just, that. Like, what Green Bay doesn't have to deal with is what Chicago really has to deal with, which is the lake effect.
Yes.
And all that stuff. So even though both teams are used to the cold, that wind that comes off of Lake Michigan is not something to mess with, man. Like, trust me. As a couple of Chicago guys here,
I get you.
you gotta worry about it.
Always take 15 degrees off of the temperature, they say, in Chicago.
Yes.
Seriously. It's not really 30. It's 15.
A game where I wish an asteroid would hit Earth. The San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams decency. Like I know we can look at Philadelphia and say they didn't live up to expectations. They didn't look dominant. The offense is bad. They still found a way to win 11 games.
Oh yeah,
right. Like they are still a good team and not a team that I think anyone can take lightly. Then you look at the San Francisco 49ers and you say to yourself, how did they survive this season? No Joey Bosa, no Fred Warner, no Christian McCaffrey injured often. Brock Purdy with Mac Jones was their quarterback and went 4-0 with them. Right?
Yes.
Like, how did they pull this off? Kyle Shanahan proving that he is one of the best coaches in the NFL currently. I cannot find myself cheering for either team here because, again, the 49ers are the villain of my childhood.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
We hate him.
Then I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, and other than wanting my good friend Daver to be happy, I couldn't care less about the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope their entire fan base, other than Daver, dies sad.
Oh, gosh,
like that's the way that I want it to happen with them. And I just I cannot find myself cheering for them to be happy. So asteroid, please. Let's find some sort of natural disaster.
And it's crazy. At San Francisco, they had won, I think it was like 6 in a row. They looked great, and they were going to play at home until the Super Bowl. And then all of a sudden they lose, in a game against Seattle, and they looked mortal there. And
Seattle rocked them.
Seattle rocked them. I mean, and McCaffrey didn't do much, and this, that, and the other. But, I think that picking this game, that Philadelphia gets it done and gets back to playoff mode.
As long as they have more than one way to get a touchdown rather than a quarterback handing it off to his favorite runner.
Yeah. Who didn't have a great year.
And whenever you look at Philadelphia, there's a crazy amount of talent on that team.
Yeah.
Like them not living up to expectations, I think says more about what's up here in the head than it does anything else. And look, you already won a Super Bowl. You don't have anything to prove. But going back to back, I mean, Kansas City showed you it's difficult to do.
Very tough.
But I feel like Philadelphia, if they can get right, if Philadelphia could win this game against San Francisco,
they're tough.
It might be the hardest game on their schedule until the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I completely concur in the respect that they're so tough. They're so tough. They're so good when they want to be. I mean, we saw brilliance earlier on in the year where this team they're Philadelphia. They're going to repeat. They're the shoe-in, and then all of a sudden they were cold. They were really cold down the stretch. Anytime
I give any positive love to Philadelphia, Tommy throws virtual tomatoes at me. And I don't think that I was overly positive that time. I was going with the caveat if.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
you're talking about the if possibility.
I'm hoping for an asteroid to hit the Earth.
We can't stand either team. Both teams suck.
They are garbage.
They're terrible. I mean,
I'm going to hate watch that game.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it because it's the playoffs. But I'm gonna be very upset whoever wins.
Yeah, no, there's no winner for me here.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, Philly won great. San Francisco won. Oh, even better.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Woohoo.
Woo, yay.
Although I will say this, for both teams, if they make it to the Super Bowl, I hope they go to overtime and lose in overtime the most heartbreaking way possible.
Yeah.
Like I had predicted whenever Kansas City killed San Francisco in that overtime, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
Well, you're all, hey, San Francisco, if you lose or make it Super Bowl, may you lose at home.
Either that or lose by an offside kick.
Yeah, there we go. Just find the most ridiculous way to lose a game. Tommy says, mentioning Philly will get you tomatoes, and gives me the shrug emoji on there. There we go. Okay, we spoke about that horrid game. We don't need to continue talking about it. Let's go over to the AFC. The Buffalo Bills versus everybody's second favorite team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville can run the ball. Trevor Lawrence is a true athlete. He's a good quarterback. I'm not going to say great just yet, but he's proving a lot of the naysayers wrong that were coming into this season. The trade that got them, I can't remember his name.
I'm trying to
The
remember.
wide receiver.
The kid from Vegas, right?
Yes.
Not Myers.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, Myers.
There
Yeah.
we go. Jacoby Myers. Establishing
That worked out well.
It did.
That worked out really well.
Establishing Jacoby Myers as your number one deep threat, moving Brian Thomas Jr. to being your second wide receiver there. Huge.
Even though he didn't have a good year, though.
I mean, it was okay.
It was very mediocre.
But if he was going to be their number one receiver, Jacksonville would not be where they are right now. Right. And that's just factual, because before Jacoby Myers showed up, Jacksonville was averaging about 20 points a game.
Yeah.
Since his arrival, they're averaging 32 points a game.
Great trade.
Great trade. And then you see the emergence of Brenton Strange as well. I know way too much about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, you do. And how about ETN? Another great year by ETN. When everybody thought he was dead in the water.
And then to go along with that, the other running back I have, Bayshaw Tootin.
Tootin.
Yeah. Like you got him that's out there doing
defensively.
Yeah, like
solid. On the greatest kicker who kicks from 70 yards. Little.
Whenever
he's
you
pretty
can make,
impressive, that kid.
whenever you can make Brandon Aubrey seem mortal.
Didn't he kick like a 68 or 69 yarder this year? I think.
Well, not just that. He had a 68-yard field goal that he made that set the record.
Right.
And then in the last game, he just kicked a 67-yard field goal.
And then they said in pregame he was kicking like 70 yarders or something. I mean, that dude, everyone wants to say Aubrey's the best kicker in the NFL. What about Cam Little?
Yeah, we got to give him his
1B right there,
Yeah. They're going to be the only two kickers that have a rating of 99.
Yeah, it's like I'm going after a kicker in the 5th round of next year's fantasy draft.
Tommy Carranza saying, "Let's go Cowboys." I mean Jacksonville. There we go.
Well, I'm going to pick. I like Jacksonville. I want to see Buffalo win. I really do. I'd love to see that. I'd love to buy the bullshit and the hype that you keep saying that it's there. It's Josh Allen's year, which I completely wholeheartedly agree with. Just when Buffalo's had a big game though this year, and they've won some good games. They really have. They've won. They were resilient down the stretch, winning at New England. I just think that Jacksonville is, to me, that team in the AFC right now. That they're the most impressive team. They're the most well-rounded team. They're the best team left that have made the playoffs in the AFC. I mean, I know everyone's still left technically, but they're the best team in the AFC in my opinion, right now, going into the playoffs.
I agree with you where I feel like they're the most balanced. Team,
and
right?
And the balanced teams win Super Bowls.
And you know what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah.
When it comes when it comes to Buffalo, I have to see it, man. Right? That's the thing is like you have to see it from Buffalo.
Yeah,
but we've seen those big moment games. They do not show up.
Exactly. But they've had, like I said, they've had some really big wins. I mean, I will disagree in the respect that they have shown up in some big moments, but then there's been some big moments where they've shit the bed and you're like, this team has no way of winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I mean, it was almost like, to some extent, a tale of two halves of the season for this team, where they started off, I think, like 3 or 4-0, and then they went 4-4, and then, you know what I mean? So they were like a seesaw, up and down, up and down. Look, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL. He really is, hands down. He's the best. I think he is. Okay, I mean, and Mahomes, he's great and whatever, as the Super Bowls, but to me, you give me a quarterback that right now, I'm taking Josh Allen. I love his versatility, his running, everything about him is great, and his age, he's obviously in his prime. I just think it's going to be a struggle today against Jacksonville. and they're
Yeah.
going to win this one.
And,
You know what I mean?
And that's my thing is Jacksonville, their strength is Buffalo's weakness.
Right.
And when you look at the
Right.
Jacksonville defense, you can't really say that there's a solid weak. I guess if there would be one thing, it would be maybe like the deep passes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't trust any of Buffalo's receivers.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
Like that's the biggest issue with them is like the receiving core isn't great.
No.
And when you get to the playoffs, you need to have a balanced team, and the balanced team is normally going to win.
They just don't have it.
And then the thing that I think is going to hurt Buffalo the most is, again, when you come into the playoffs and you're playing with house money like Jacksonville is, you can play loose, you can do your thing, right? There's no expectation on Jacksonville to do anything. All the pressure in the world is on Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win a Super Bowl. It's the same thing like what happened with Baltimore. Them firing John Harbaugh was because the expectation for this team was make it to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl because there's been one team dominating the AFC. You couldn't even make it to the playoffs. Now, granted, there were injuries, there was this and that, whatever.
And their kicker cost them that game, unfortunately.
Oh, God, I feel so bad for
That's
Luke.
why. I mean, that's why. It's just funny because I always say this, and then some people look at me like I'm crazy, but that's okay. There's not enough of an emphasis on getting a great kicker, even if you have to draft him in a high, a low round or whatever. The point is that people do not put enough emphasis on special teams. I mean, how often have we seen a kicker completely screw over an organization? You know what I mean? And if only they had just put more stock in a great kicker, they would have won the game. They would have won a championship, whatever. It goes on and on and on. The moral of the story is invest in a great kicker, for crying out loud. 32 NFL teams are the ones that don't have one.
Well, I mean, your great kicker can become a not so great kicker.
It happens. I hear you. I mean, look at what was it? I'll never forget. Was it 98 where the kid from Minnesota? I can't remember his name right now. He had made like 100 field goals in a row or something, and he ended up missing the field goal, and the Vikings lost to Atlanta.
So you're talking about Anderson, right?
Anderson, yeah. Dude, I mean, how do you predict that? Like where the guy's made like 50 field goals in a row, and all of a sudden he misses it to not send you to the Super Bowl. Remember that?
Well, that game was against Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta went on and lost to Denver, I think, in the Super Bowl, right?
If I'm not mistaken,
somebody like that.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like both kickers were brothers, right? Because wasn't Morton Anderson the kicker for Atlanta?
Remember that?
I'm gonna have to look that one up. That's gonna be one of my cool little.
I just remember that was the year that it would have been, the amazing offense of Minnesota and Randy Moss against the exceptional defense against Denver. And Minnesota lost one game all year, and they were in the NFC title game at home, and then they Anderson missed the field goal, and then c'est la vie, and what could have been. But again, you're right in the respect that the kicker could be the most reliable human being in the world, but then they miss kicks sometimes, unfortunately. It's not an exact science. Gary Anderson, yeah. It's not an exact science, but if you're a great kicker, more often than not, you're a Vinatieri, you make it. That's all I have to say.
And you also have to look at the value of other specialists, like, for example, Kavan Turpin, great at putting Dallas in great field position, but also he became more flexible because he became a marvelous wide receiver.
Absolutely. Diversity. And you're right. I mean, again, like I said, enough emphasis is not put on special teams when that's one of the most important parts of the game. I mean, even punting, you think, oh, who needs a good punter? Well, I mean, he gives you a 40, 50-yard punt net, and it's not bad. I mean, 60-yard punt, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's especially close to the end of the game where then all they have to do is manage the clock.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was right that Morton Anderson was the opposing kicker there.
Okay.
They are not brothers, though.
Okay, That's a great.
They're from different mothers, but that's about it.
They're brothers from other mothers.
Exactly.
That's all,
But Gary Anderson and Morton Anderson,
they're Andersons.
Yeah.
Somewhere they're related.
Both are not from the United States, though, which is great.
Canadians, aren't they?
No. Gary Anderson's from South Africa. Morton Anderson is from Denmark.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I learned something new today too.
Wow.
I knew Morton Anderson wasn't American. I just didn't know where he was from.
Yeah, I had you got me there. But
yes.
Yeah, get a good kicker. I mean, what else can I tell you? Get a Brandon Aubrey, and even he goofs sometimes, right? But
but you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you need a good kicker.
And injuries screw up anybody. That's the wild card.
And it just sucks that Baltimore, again, you miss that kick and the kid's a rookie. it happens. I mean, it was a bad miss. God, that was a bad miss.
It was.
It was so far right.
But this is also the thing with him, right? Is like you look at it all season long. Loop inside the 50 was money.
Yeah.
But outside the 50, like a 50-yard plus field goal,
And see,
he went 0 for 5.
You can't have a
This
kicker
one-
like that.
This one was not 50 yards plus. It was like 45.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's got to be able to
He's
make
gotta
that
make that,
in that
yeah.
moment. But you also need a kicker because the way that the game has evolved, that can get you a 60, which is
65, 70,
a wild thing to say.
Nowadays, they're kicking those 60-yarders like nothing. What's a 60-yard field goal? You know what I mean?
Could you imagine Cam Little or Brandon Aubrey in Denver with that low, like that high elevation? It would just be flying.
80-yard field goals.
Because
you get to the 20 and you kick a field goal.
yeah, that's how you start the game.
You get the ball and then you kick a field goal. It's like, well, okay.
You get points every time, baby.
Right.
Might as well, right?
Imagine.
It always reminds me, and once again, I've erred on not giving a little bit of love to the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Richie Davis and the whole crew out there
What a
hosting
great
us
game.
while we were out there. It was an amazing
Great
game.
Yeah.
Duke coming out with a big win there. That game was so back and forth. It was awesome to watch that game.
And you hope the Sun Bowl stays around for that purpose.
Oh, 100%.
Because that was such a great game. And I told you the playoff was good. I mean, the playoffs good because who in their right mind would have thought Miami was going to make it to the championship and play at home? I'm just saying, yeah, they shouldn't have made the playoff. You could argue Notre Dame should have, but look at what Miami did. Look at what Miami did. A lot of people were bitching about that. I wasn't. But let me tell you something. Look at what Miami did. The 10th seed makes the final. That's why the playoff is great. That's why the playoff is great, my friend. Okay? I'm going to say it right now.
Miami shouldn't have been a 10th seed. Miami should have been more of a 6th or 7th
But they made the
seed.
final.
They made, yes, I agree with you on that.
And Indiana's great. I think Indiana's going to win. But they're at home playing, and for the first time ever, right? A team's playing at home since the BCS. Yeah, no other teams played since.
It is in Indianapolis.
No, schmuck. It's in Miami.
Isn't it Miami?
They're in Miami. Yeah, they're in Miami Garden Stadium or whatever the hell it's called. Yes, Hard Rock Stadium.
They played 2 bowl games at Hard Rock.
The Orange Bowl was the other one, right? Yeah, they do. It's this year the national championship is in Miami. You know how it rotates every year. It's yeah. So Miami's at home.
Ever since Texas Tech lost, I've just not
Dude,
cared.
I felt so bad for you. I mean, I did, but I didn't because
you love my misery.
Yeah, I do. But we knew it was coming. They had it coming, right? We had a feeling. So much for $300 million, huh?
Hey, whoa. Did you see the money they're spending in the portal this year?
Yeah,
Jesus. I'm like, guys, calm down.
Look. I like the college football playoff. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Expand it to 16 teams.
Expand it to 32.
Well, no, they're going to. Next year's going to be 16. Then it's going to be 20. Yeah, 5 years from now to be 32 or more. Why not?
Just 32. And again, I spoke to you and Mike Golick Jr. about this, and I said it needs to be expanded out to minimum 25, and you all laughed at me. And then 2 years later, here we are. Oh, yeah, expand it to 16, expand it to 32.
You like doing like that?
Yeah.
Sir, may I have another?
Yes, which I agree with. Like, it has been
great.
fun.
It's
the games that I watched.
So awesome, dude. I mean,
I went to another restaurant. Not going to say their name here on this show because we're at this restaurant, Buffalo Wild Wings. Come check them out. But last night, I was watching that Oregon beatdown, and I was still in that mindset of how Oregon just dominated Texas Tech. That I was sitting there saying to myself, Oregon deserves every single one of the 56 points that were put up on them.
I agree.
I was in my veins. Give it to me.
Indiana's so good. I'm so impressed.
They're much better than I thought they were.
They are. I don't see any weaknesses from that team. And as good as Miami's been and the run they've gone on, Indiana's. I think they're definitely going to win the national championship. I mean, they're so good. Their quarterback. That kid's made 5 touchdowns. He's only had 3 incompletions in the playoff. I mean, look at the teams they've gone through. The Raiders are licking their chops. We have the number 1 pick. They're going to have a quarterback.
You put him with Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers.
He's going to be. He's got all of the mechanics to make it at the next level and be great.
But they've got to get a line.
They got to get a line. And I think Pete Carroll will work on that as well.
Pete Carroll was fired.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew he was.
Well, he's still the GM, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now for our new game show. Who can pick the next
doesn't
firing?
the GM work on that as well, though? The offensive line?
I would hope so. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just remember him being fired. I was like, wait. Yeah. General manager, our guy Stephen Michael Puga saying, "Let's go Panthers, let's go Packers." LOL. So I feel like I'm just on the opposite end of him completely. Like, because I'm going with the Rams. Again, chaos theory, I want the Panthers and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl because that's going to be a Super Bowl nobody cares about. Everyone's watching simply for the halftime show and for the commercials. And you got like a fan base of 5 people that would be happy with this. That's what it would be.
Oh, man. No, I tell you, it's great. But I'm excited about the playoffs. I mean, this is one of the best weekends in football. 6 games starting today at 2:30. And, of course, we'll be talking about the national championship next Saturday on the show because it should be fun. But, I mean, we got a lot of football. Boy, am I excited. Oh, man.
It's coming to an end, but we are going to embrace every single second
of the
end of football as it comes down.
We'll cherish it. We'll cherish every minute of it, you know.
All right, Brandon, tell everybody we are out here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Let everyone know about what the specials are this month.
Pick 6 is great. You get 2 entrees, 2 sides, 2 fountain drinks, $19.99. We have this shtick that Tipton loves, the ultimate sampler. You get 4 different things, and then it's month of free. So if you're a rewards member, you get a free burger with a $15 purchase starting the 5th, the 12th on free delivery, the 14th of the month on 3-6 wings, and then the 19th, a free sandwich, and finally the 26th, free appetizer. So come on down to B-Dubs and enjoy a good nosh.
Once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the show. First show of 2026 in the books.
Great
Brandon,
show.
I was thinking about this as I was walking through Best Buy because I had to go buy some cables because I'm an idiot. I was thinking about this. Fire and Ice is turning 8 years old this year.
That's crazy. You know what? I cannot believe it's been that long.
That is wild.
We started in 2018, right?
2018,
okay.
yes. Whenever I first came back from Connecticut.
We've been doing this 8
8
years. Wow.
A little off and on sometimes.
Yeah, of course. We're
but
busy.
8 years that we've been able to do this.
I wouldn't rather do it with anybody else. I
think Daver's been here for 3
years. He started about 3 years ago.
And it feels at least like 30 years.
It does. It does. He looks like he's aged 30 years in the last 3, but we love Dave. Thank you, buddy.
But at least the gray hair looks distinctive.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Very distinguished. That's the way that it is.
As my grandpa would have said, Daver's been dyeing his hair gray for years.
That's it. You read that right.
All right, everyone. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy your football. We'll see you all next week.
See you guys later.